Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sunny, and my presentation today is about mental health and coping strategies. Today, I will be discussing mental health and coping strategy. Specifically, I will explore what psychological stress is, the theories that explain why we experience stress, the different ways people cope with stressful situations, and what all of this means for the healthcare practice. Stress is something everyone experiences, but it is much more than simply feeling overwhelmed. Research now shows that stress results from a complex interaction between our thoughts, our biology, and the environment around us. Throughout this presentation, I will critically explain the different perspectives and discuss interventions that have been shown to improve mental well-being. Conceptualization psychological stress. To begin, it's important to understand what actually mean by psychological stress. Stress is not simply caused by different situation. Instead, it depends on how we interpret those situations and whether we believe we have the resources to deal with them. Rachman 2020 explained that stress occurs when people perceive that the demand placed upon them outweigh the ability to cope. This is why two people can face exactly the same challenge but respond very differently. One person may view it as manageable while another may find it overwhelming. Theoretical perspective. Several theories have been developed to explain why people experience stress, and each provides a slightly different perspective. The transactional model of stress and coping suggests that stress depends on how individuals evaluate a situation and whether they believe they have the resources to manage it. Rather than focusing only on the stressful event itself, this model places emphasis on cognitive appraisal, making it highly relevant to modern healthcare practice. Another influential theory is Sally's general adaptation syndrome, which describes stress as a biological response progressing through three stages: alarm, resistance, and exhaustion. Although this theory explains the body's psychological response well, it has been criticized for paying less attention to individual differences and social influences. Similarly, cognitive appraisal theory argues that our emotional reactions are shaped more by our interactions of events than by the events themselves. Major, major sources of psychological stress. Stress can arise from many different areas of everyday life. For many people, academic and workplace pressure are among the most common stressors, particularly when expectations exceed the time or resources available. Financial difficulties can also create ongoing uncertainty, while relationship problems, caring responsibility, and long-term health conditions often place considerable emotional demand on individuals. However, recently research reminds us that stress is not only caused by personal circumstances. Wider social issues such as discrimination, poverty, environmental challenges can also have a significant impact on mental well-being. This demonstrates that stress should be viewed within its border, special context rather than simply as an individual experience. Effect of stress. The effect of stress exceed far beyond some how someone feels emotionally. Psychologically, prolonged stress increases the likelihood of anxiety, depression, and difficulties regulating condition. Physically, chronic activation of the body stress response leads to increased cortisol level, which over the time can contribute to high blood pressure, reduced immune function, and poor sleep. Problem focus coping. One common way of managing stress is through problem focus coping. These appraisals involve taking practical steps to address the source of the stress. Examples include planning ahead, improving time management, seeking information, or actively solving problems. Research suggests that the approach is particularly effective when people have some control over the situation because it increases confidence and promotes a sense of control. Emotional focus coping. Unlike problem focus coping, emotional focus coping is aims to manage emotional responses rather than changing the stressful situation itself. Examples include mindfulness, counseling, relaxation techniques, acceptance, and cognitive reframing. Evidence suggests that mindfulness can significantly reduce stress by helping individuals focus on the present moment instead of becoming overwhelmed by reduce by negative thoughts. Likelihood and protective factors. Alongside coping strategies, every lifestyle choices play an important role in protecting mental health. Rather, regular physical activity has been shown to improve mood and by stimulating the release of endorphins, endorphins and reducing the body stress response. Good sleep hygiene is equally important because adequate sleep supports emotional regulation, memory, and overall physical health. Critical evaluation of evidence. Although many management interventions are effective, current evidence suggests that there is no universal situation. Mindfulness programs consistently produce moderate improvement in stress and anxiety, although success often depends on continued practical personal engagement. Implication for professional practice. These findings have several important implications for healthcare professionals. Firstly, recognizing the early signs of stress, always timely intervention before symptoms develop into more severe mental health conditions. Conclusion. To conclude, stress is a complex and multifaceted experience shaped by biological, psychological, and social influences. No single theory fully explains stress, but together there is Together, these perspectives provide a more complete understanding of why people experience stress differently. Thank you.